我来参加工班，我是觉得自己像一个汽车很久没有保养，我已经老旧了，需要保养。
就是你是吃药的，有血压高，今天是不参加这个闭关班是决定不吃的，是不是？
没吃药。
为什么不吃？是老师叫我不吃，还是你想？
因为来闭关班，我是准备接受 energy。我其实本身都不是想吃药的人，主要就是身体好，家庭好。我的血糖不用吃那个药，不会搞得我好像有时候没有力气。
才过了几天，我都敢照镜子了。我觉得自己好像已经看起来好多了，然后精神各方面都很好。感谢，
我有相当严重的糖尿病，我吃很多药，没有带药来。我低血糖的那个症状非常严重。4、5个小时不吃东西，就会整个人塌下去，冒冷汗，完全不能没有function了。但是这几天来也没有多吃，一点那个低血糖的感觉没有。我收到了很多能量，谢谢师父。Very obvious benefit. I have been a pretty serious diabetic patient for at least taking medications for 10 years, and I've been taking the maximum. And the doctor said, no, not enough, but you're taking already the maximum. And I have been also suffering from low blood sugar symptoms a few times a week sometimes. And now I can tell you after 23 days without medication, and I have not stopped my basic activities. And I have to say, I want to thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Prior to this time, I attended another retreat about 2 weeks ago. And adding to it from the last retreat and going home, continuing to do more exercises, the feeling just got stronger and stronger. I used to have palpitation, sort of heartbeat issues at night. And specifically, my heartbeat was really low, so in the mid-40s. But then coming out of the retreat, amazing thing was my pulse went up and it stayed up ever since then. It didn't disappear because everything I tried before with regard to my pulse, it never really did any difference. I tried acupuncture, didn't quite work. And I tried other methods, didn't quite work, and other meditation. But the retreat last time I did it. And it's continued to be normal.
And the high blood pressure, I take medication over 20 years. Yeah, but first day I came here, I told Ping, I said, today we better take medication. Otherwise, we have 3 days without medication. I don't know what's going on. So we both take medication. So that day my blood pressure is like 140 when I came here. Because my blood pressure went really high, kept shooting up to 200. Yeah, when I sleep, I feel better. My blood pressure this morning down to 148 without medication.
I have something is even hungry is we feel very bad. So I feel here you can't eat anything. Maybe we're hungry. Actually, I bring some candy with me. Yeah, on my packet just in case. From day 1, day 2, I feel it didn't feel anything. It's the energy still have the energy. Yeah, so very surprised.
After the retreat, my blood pressure very stable. From the 130 down to 120. Even I have a lot of stress. I have insomnia for about like a few years, at least 3 or 4 years. And every day I only can sleep probably just like 1 or 2 hours. But now I don't have that problem and I fall asleep very quick. We don't have any problem like hungry or starving or low blood sugar. We have no problem. Yeah, Ping, he has a hypoglycemia and the low blood sugar and the problem before. And whenever he take well without the food and he blood sugar drop down, and he has that problem for a few times. So I have to always bring the candy with me. But this time, no. He doesn't need anything. We just bring the little box with the carrots and the nuts and together. So whenever we go somewhere, and we just bring the box with us. So when we feel a little hungry, we just pick up 1 or 2. So that's it. It's very easy. Yeah, so I really appreciate it.
As the Tao Te Ching said, one sentence, 圣人皆海之. So I think our master is the same. Appears in the modern city. I see everyone is so fresh as a baby. She made us to be a baby. And she's the same. Thank you very much for me.
So before the retreat, I knew I was going to Bigu, so I ate quite a bit holiday meals before. So my weight was up to 143, 142. Historically, I'm about 135. That's like normal for me. So I did gain quite a bit of weight prior because I didn't know what I was expecting through the retreat. But since then, eating probably between 2 and 5 apples a day worth of food, I'm down to 127, which is like the lightest I've ever been in my adult life. And I feel pretty good energy. I had to leave at midnight from the Bay Area because I had a 10 o'clock meeting down in LA the following day. So that was at least a 6-hour trip. Actually, because we had to charge the car, it was about an 8-hour trip. So we made it back around 7:30 in the morning here. I was tired, but still, alert. And then immediately I turned on the soothing qigong, and went to bed for about 30 minutes, and got right back up, and I was very energized for the rest of the day. In fact, the meeting that I was supposed to host, they said it was the best meeting, to date. So I was pretty effective that day.
Did lose already 5 pounds. I feel like the toxins are going out, and I feel like the body is getting lighter, and the energy is coming back. And I believe when doing the Bigu and the energized food, and I can even heading to 50 years now, I kind of recover very well. Yeah. Today it was just amazing how I felt that energy, and it was just the nature, the beauty of the blue sky, the sunshine, the mountains, the lake, the water, and the energy there was so amazing. I felt really the abundance of life, the life force energy within the trees, giving a life of, of strength, of abundance, of coming back. My life force energy with my body, I can use again the full potential. It's like, before the body is like, it's like, can use maybe 10% because it is just tired, it wants to sleep, it has no fuel. And now coming back again, let's say recharging and re-energizing and getting back to, let's get back to full speed so I can use my potential. Strong body again. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Caroline and Kurt is my husband. I'm originally from Kenya and I'm so grateful that I came to this retreat. For me, I remember I was very nervous the first night I arrived. I didn't know what to expect. The next day, after not sleeping the whole night, the following day I woke up, I was very energetic and I was very surprised even with myself, why so much energy. And at some point, as I sat here, the energy was so much coming all the way to my throat, into my mouth, and my head was trembling, my teeth were chattering, because, and even it's like you're almost gargling on it, like, it's just, the body was just full of energy. Another thing is with the pain. It's through these retreats that I am actually now aware of the intensity of the pains in my body. Initially, I just wanted it to go away, take a medication or do this and that, or not do anything at all. But now, especially after the tree, communicating with the tree, the wisdom that came to me was to make sure that I stay with the pain and learn from it until it goes away. For this, I am so grateful that I came here.
My name is Billy. This is my first retreat. Since arriving, I've felt a strong energy here in the house, and it's I can connect to it at any time. And in fact, I think I'm always connected to it. I can just sometimes connect to it more strongly. And it's been a very profound experience. During the retreat, I've had a lot of strong sensations and feelings.
Sleeping Qigong was new, and I immediately felt my legs expand and fill up.
总体来说，整个能量明显增加，因为我身体通常比较寒，虽然睡得不多，但是从来不觉得累。然后虽然辟谷，可是从来不觉得饿。
感到两个，第一个就是说感到非常的平和 ，happy， 很高兴。那么最后我要讲的是说，本来我很担心今天开车回去，我说可能很累。 其实我现在比我来的状况 much better. I'm not worried about.
我参加过很多次retreat，从05年开始，这一次是最不一样的一次，而且接收的那个功能也是最明显的，真正感到这个三大高灵系统的能量的强大，还有接收了很多能量，加上那些。 户外的行走，还有道风，还有接收太阳的能量。尤其接受太阳能量，是我手很怕冷的，但是那天户外很冷，但是我就觉得手非常暖。
这次是我第一次参加 retreat， 从第1天到第5天，我觉得自己有非常大的变化。从一开始面如土色，到现在。 就觉得自己焕发青春，从一开始没有能量，到现在觉得能量在我的身体里面， 巨大的一个能量在我身体里面涌动，所以我觉得对我来说是一种重生。我感觉对我的人生又有了一个全新的人生。开始告诉
身体感觉很好，睡眠睡得很好。因为我平常的工作是电脑工作，所以那个颈部啊、那个脖子啊特别紧。通过这几天的闭关班，我觉得那个自己那个脖子啊，都放松了很多。我来这边练了卧功，大概几分钟吧，就不痛了，一直睡。所以我几个晚上都睡得很好，比在家里睡得好。第3个晚上就昨天晚上一点都不痛了。
那么这次的感觉，第一个就是很明显，就是辟谷效益非常好。就是我来了几天，好像感觉有点劳累，但是后来从星期1、星期2就基本上完全就好像没这回事儿了。
就是那个气功病道的那个感觉是这次是最严重的，就以往那个参加工班没有这么厉害的感觉，而且就是说一点也就是不感觉饥饿的这几天，就是当然有东西吃就吃一点，但是不觉得很饿，就没有饥饿感，完全没有饥饿感。
我在第3天早上的时候感觉到气冲病灶，感觉到突然之间发冷、发热、冒汗、冒虚汗、虚弱，跟 Sherry 那天分享的一样，但是做了那个充电功以后就恢复正常，然后到晚上就非常精神了。
跟树交流的时候，我被树吸过去，直接抱树上抱了好几秒钟，然后再被推开。
在吸收那个树格格的那个能量的时候，那个树很大很大，非常非常的大，比那个 Giant Sequoia 还大。
跟树讲 talking 的时候，感觉气流非常的强。
But what was most profound was an intense feeling of love, and I felt so much love it brought me to tears.
I feel really deep energy with around my arm and my head.
今天五项灌顶的时候，觉得头上凉凉的，然后做到最后的时候，身体发热。
我觉得那个甘水在我身体全部都走过，然后特别是我那个右眼睛有一点点湿湿的泪水，所以可能是那个甘水帮我那个右眼的一些毛病给冲掉了。
那个无极针呢，以前我就总是感觉到很少，就这次刺的时候呢，就在它好像一直穿透了我的手到下面来，好像很长，但是我就就没有看见颜色，但是就感觉到比以往每次都是那个感觉都是多的。
然后呢，就是在接这个针的时候，感觉有个很凉的一种冲击量啊。
接无极针的时候，左手有很明显的感觉，觉得拿到一个东西。
Essences of the video teaching: Qinway to health and rejuvenation, Qinway Qigong. The main feature of this video is using images, characters, sound waves, and water as vehicles for transporting high energy signals, while opening up the channels between human and the universe. This video contains immeasurable energy signals and advanced scientific knowledge. During the video session, please remain in the Qigong state. Be relaxed and peaceful. better results will be achieved while in the fasting state. It is important to remember real healing effects and profound principles are embedded in simple words and examples. You will have better results if you are determined to revolutionize your thought patterns. This video is an introduction to Qinway Qigong series. It is an essential chapter for further human cultivation and Qigong practice. I'd like to dedicate this video to all of my grandmasters who have simply guided and supported Qinway Qigong, to the loving hearts and supportive lives of my family and friends who have helped bring about this common blessing for humanity, to those who are still looking for natural methods to heal diseases, increase longevity, and lose weight, and to you who are searching for an authentic and reliable way to liberate your body, mind, and soul. I ask heaven in earnest, what is the most precious gift under the sun? Only health and rejuvenation.
Have you ever thought about making yourself younger, losing weight, and healing diseases in just about 10 days? This is no longer a dream. It happens to every student in Qinway Qigong's Energized Fasting Qigong Retreat. Qinway Qigong is a technique for promoting health and curing diseases that everyone can learn. Qinway Qigong is a set of Qigong exercises that have integrated the essence of traditional Chinese Qigong and modern science. Human detoxification and energy infusion are the main themes throughout Qinway Qigong. Its innovative 6 major technical procedures are easy to learn, yet highly effective. It is based on solid theoretical ground and free of any religious mystery. As suggested by its full name, Qinway to Health and Rejuvenation is a way to promote health and help reverse the process of aging. The key to traditional Qigong's healing effect is to open key energy points in the human body and let in high energy Qi from the universe. This is called energy infusion, or opening up the channels between the human and the universe. This can take years to fully achieve when you practice Qigong on your own.
In order to accelerate the self-healing process, we are currently offering a form of advanced Qigong training in the San Francisco Bay Area. This training starts with an energized fasting Qigong retreat in a closed Qi field to achieve an energy infusion. This has historically taken more than 10 years to achieve.
One major feature of Qinway Qigong is that the master helps the students receive energy and direct energy directly into them. Thus the channels between the human and the universe are opened in a very short time. This allows every student in the class to form a high pressure of vital Qi and push toxins out of their bodies. When the body is detoxified, many benefits start to appear, such as fundamental healing, weight loss, beautification, and longevity. Human detoxification and energy infusion at the same time is the main characteristic of Qinway Qigong. This distinguishes this system from almost all others which emphasize only energy infusion.
The precondition for energized fasting is a phenomenon called too qi-filled to eat. Usually, it's very difficult to have great energy and feel no hunger during a fast, while one is continuing one's normal routine. So I use a technique that can open up the channels between the human and the universe to help my students realize energized fasting in a short time. This integrated technique gives energy to my students directly and helps them to receive universal energy. Last year, during an energized fasting Qigong retreat in Cupertino, an American friend, Richard, came from San Diego area. We had met each other in Beijing, where he had been attending an international conference on medical Qigong as the head of the American delegation. At that time, he had successfully fasted for a few days after the retreat, with no hunger and some detoxification. But as a serious scientist, he was not easily convinced. He challenged the notion of giving energy directly and helping receive universal energy. since he wasn't able to see the energy. Later that year, I happened to stop by his home where he had a machine that measures chi levels and the biological field. First, he took a special picture of the chi field of his fingers. Next, I entered into a deep Qigong state and collected some universal energy to open up his acupuncture point and increase his energy level. A few seconds later, he took another picture. This became much brighter and larger. He was amazed.
Qinway Qigong was developed and is currently taught by Master Qin, who as a young woman is quite different from the traditional image of respectable, white-maned, elderly man with childlike features. As early as 1991, the then president of the Chinese Qigong Science Association, Mr. Zhenhuan Zhang, referred to Qin as Little Heavenly Master in his inscription.
At that time, I was teaching Qigong at the Purple Bamboo College in Beijing, which I had founded. I was working with a student who had been paralyzed for 8 years and who miraculously stood up in just 4 days. The event caused a sensation at that time. Mr. Zhenhuan Zhang inscribed for me, "It will benefit the society greatly. If applied to the whole nation, it will have a more significant impact." Although my research during that period on prediction using special human ability is what prompted Mr. Zhang's praise of Little Heavenly Master.
Master Qin is a certified Qigong Grandmaster of the Chinese Qigong Science Association. She has lectured and taught as a visiting professor and special fellow at some famous international academic institutions. She has won several major international and national awards. Now let's hear what Master Qin has to say about Qigong training and the founding of the Qinway Qigong.
I grew up in a city in the south of China, Hangzhou, which is both beautiful and internationally well known for its rich cultural history. When I was born, I was very weak, and very early in my life, my maternal grandmother started to teach me meditation. She used to practice a Buddhist meditation which had been handed down through her own family. Strangely, among all the children in our extended family, I was the only one that could easily quiet down and really enjoyed the rich inner experience of meditation. This capacity made me pay attention to Qigong and eventually study Qigong later in life. Many people view meditation as just sitting cross-legged in the lotus position. This is because the subtle inner experiences take many years of practice to achieve.
After founding the Purple Bamboo Qigong College, Qin became a well-known Qigong master in China.
I was invited by some of my students to teach Qigong at Wenzhou. With their support, I established the Purple Bamboo Qigong College. Most of the Qigong exercises that I taught at that time came from my mentor, Abbess Huigong at Nanhua Putuo, one of the most famous Buddhist mountains in China, where it is said that Kuan Yin became Buddha. Purple Bamboo Qigong College started very naturally and developed rapidly. Students who had benefited just referred their relatives and friends to come. The school's reputation soon spread to the general public and finally attracted the then highly respected president of the Chinese Qigong Science Association, Mr. Zhenhuan Zhang, who had been called the father of Qigong in China. We fast became very good friends. Whenever I went to Beijing, he would invite me to his home to share with me some of the latest breakthroughs in human science research, and offered me invaluable suggestions. After each visit, I returned to Wenzhou with many new ideas. I started to realize that the Qigong exercises I was teaching at the Purple Bamboo Qigong College were too traditional, complicated, and sometimes obscure.
Although the Purple Bamboo Qigong College was very successful, Qinyin was not satisfied. She realized the need to uncover the precious Chinese human training techniques used for centuries and base them on modern sciences. She closed the Qigong College and traveled throughout China for the next 5 years. She studied in some of the most famous and sacred energy areas in China with highly qualified unknown masters while immersing herself in extensive readings and deep studies.
While I was visiting these academic researchers and little-known Qigong masters, I began to realize that traditional Qigong had certain great limitations. While modern society has developed very rapidly, traditional Qigong was developed in ancient times and adapted to a slow-paced society, and its language and terminologies are often religious and obscure. I was determined to search for the truths underlying this rich healing tradition. From the practice of Qigong, we know that our current scientific knowledge is still limited. There are many unknown fields, and fields that scientists have just begun to explore. We can see that from the actual effects of Qigong, that the existence is the truth experience validates the existence of Qigong phenomena. In my own quest, I really wanted to discover and understand the mechanisms behind these phenomena. One of my questions was what exists in this universe that can help synchronize our human biological field with the law of the Tao and lift up our body, mind, and spirit. I felt these questions needed to be answered before I could develop and teach a comprehensive healing system. So I closed the Purple Bamboo Qigong College just as it was to be promoted nationally and went to the Ermai Mountain instead.
After receiving high-level instructions from highly qualified masters and enduring incredible hardships, Master Qinyin developed a complete advanced Qigong training system based on the 3 fundamental principles of life. Qinway Qigong, a set of simple and highly effective Qigong exercises with rapid and lasting healing effects, was born.
During the 5 years from 1991 to 1996, I had the good fortune to witness many Qigong miracles and developed an understanding of the limitations of our current 3-dimensional knowledge. I realized we need to go to the 4th dimension and even further. All of these Qigong phenomena call for an explanation by future scientists exploring higher dimensions. So in 1996, Qinway Qigong, originating from Purple Bamboo Qigong, was introduced to the public at the auditorium of the Aviation Ministry in Beijing. Many Qigong experts and people from all walks of life attended this conference, and Qinway Qigong was put to its first major test.
The theoretical foundations of Qinway Qigong are the 3 fundamental principles of life. Because of these sound foundations, Qinway Qigong is scientific and free of any religious mystery.
In the mid-1990s, Qigong in general was at a relatively low point in China, but Qinway Qigong still enjoyed virtually instant success in Beijing, particularly at Beijing University, Qinghua University, and many other places.
Qinway Qigong contains a whole set of highly integrated hardware, movements, and software meditation systems for teaching Qigong. For example, the analogies to technical procedure use simple and descriptive terms to ensure that everyone can easily understand and follow the instructions. To learn Qinway Qigong is simple, but to match the success of some of its most successful students, you must change your mind. To a large extent, the degree of your success is proportional to how well you can open and change your mind.
It's important to have a firm and well-grounded understanding. While my system is consistent with scientific principles, science does not yet fully explain Qigong. We really need to view science as evolving and still developing. They should not be taken as the ultimate truth. From the perspective of the future of science, we need to change our mind and stay convinced of these new ideas. This is a fundamental aspect of many of my outstanding students who have excellent, lasting healing effects. For example, the notion of energy carriers. Ordinary people often view energized fasting, which is an important component of my system, as something strange. How could you live without eating, they ask. The power of old ideas is usually very strong, since they've been formed for a long time. As my students know, Qinway's Qigong, energized fasting, is based on the precondition of sufficient energy supply. Another very important factor in achieving significant healing is following the procedures I have set out and finishing the homework I assign. This is a complete energy program designed to guarantee that you have enough energy during fasting. We ask our students to complete the easy-to-follow homework. For example, I transmit universal energy upon some energy carriers, such as characters in a book, sound, and so on. And then students use these as instructed. How to eat, of course, requires a big change of mind. Students who gradually return to their old habits do not have as good effect as those who stick to the new ideas persistently. There is immense support for students. I send energy signals twice a day to them and conduct monthly classes in an energized setting.
Late 1997, Master Qinyan was invited to attend the Second World Congress on Qigong in America as a foremost Qigong master from China.
In 1997, I was invited to lead a workshop at the Second World Congress on Qigong. Throughout the workshop, I felt proud to be Chinese. I won the Distinguished Faculty Award and felt very welcomed by my audience and made some wonderful friends. Although I had not been thinking about applying for permanent U.S. residency and was not prepared in my mind to do so, several people suggested that I was qualified for a green card as an alien with extraordinary ability. I'm happy to say that after being in the U.S. for just 2 years, I now have the status of an alien with extraordinary ability.
In 1998, Master Qinyan came to the San Francisco Bay Area and
When I first heard about Qinway Qigong theory, I was really impressed by its uniqueness, especially the concepts of energy infusion and human detoxification. I didn't know what detoxification was, but I knew that I was physically weak and lacked energy. After attending Master Qinyan's introductory seminar, I became very interested in her theory and decided to do the retreat, which even my husband strongly supported. Before, when my ears hummed, I would pass out. On the first day of the retreat, my ears hummed during the detoxification exercise, but I didn't pass out. After the exercise, Master Qinyan gave me a cup of water. In the past, such an episode would have taken me 3 days to recover from, but with Master Qinyan, my discomfort disappeared right after drinking the water. For me, this felt like a miracle.
I've heard about this before. I was studying another type of Qigong, and through a friend, Xiaoru, she told me about this this program of Qinway to Health. So I decided to try another technique because it was dealing with detox. Also, I am a Chinese medicine doctor, so I do acupuncture and Chinese herbs, and so I'm always looking for many other ways to help other people. And I find that this technique, Master Qinway to Health technique, is very effective for helping many people.
For years, I suffered from serious thyroid gland disease that caused my eyes to protrude out and my face to swell. I went to see many Western and Chinese doctors with no relief. I was fat due to dropsy, and after fasting for a few days, I felt relieved. I continued fasting for around 10 days and discharged many old-age stools and felt greatly liberated. Under Master Qinyan's continuing guidance, I fasted continuously for 49 days. The swelling of my eyes started to subside and the shape of my face returned to normal. Now I'm energetic and physically strong. After practicing Qinway Qigong for a period of time, I lost more than 10 pounds. Now I don't need to eat as much as before, yet I'm even more energetic. I feel really great.
I think my hip and my left leg from the football injury is starting to stabilize. A lot of changes are happening in that area. And I think there's a lot of hope for improvement, which otherwise medical advice has informed me to, just get a hip replacement, but I don't feel like it's necessary. And I feel like it's improving month by month. So there's that, plus I think accelerated capacity to have more energy in my body. And I think a change in my diet and my eating habits just sort of naturally are occurring. I don't need to eat as much, and it made me aware that I need to change, my diet.
I'd tried many different weight loss methods without success, so I decided to learn Qinway Qigong, and it was very effective. I lost 10 pounds in just a few days, and at one time lost as much as 28 pounds. Besides losing weight, my cholesterol level, which was way too high, became lower. Even my eyesight improved, and I am now able to sleep better at night. It seems as though all aspects of my health have improved.
I feel that the Energized Qigong Retreat is designed by Master Qinyan for each student individually. Before attending the retreat, each student needs to fill out a registration form which contains specific information about the student. Master Qinyan then prepares and designs the retreat for each student. Many American students have practiced Qigong before and are quite sensitive to receiving energy signals. In every retreat, no single student has the same effects. Some people feel warm while others feel cold. Some feel qi flowing down while others feel qi going up. Master Qinyan then adjusts her teaching according to each student's special characteristic and reactions. Precious cultural heritage of China. There are many different versions of Qigong, and for hundreds of years many practices were just handed down one-to-one from generation to generation. Thus, Qigong never had a complete theoretical system. In the 1980s, Qigong suddenly became popular and somewhat mystified. Schools of Qigong appeared, but the quality was uneven, and the public perception of Qigong was sometimes confused. The main characteristics of Qinway Qigong is that it instantly opens up energy channels between the human being and the universe and maintains lasting healing effects by using individualized energized objects besides the daily Qigong practice of the student. In 1996, the prestigious journal Qigong highly praised the Qinway Qigong system for its major breakthroughs in the field of Chinese Qigong, saying it was the first time in the history of Chinese Qigong a Qigong system had achieved 1. Easy to understand expressions. 2. Easy to follow exercises. 3. Instant connection to high energy with lasting effects. 4. Detoxification and energy infusion at the same time. 5. Fast healing and high effectiveness. 6. Mutual reinforcement between theory and practice.
Way in the Santa Cruz in the alternative health community. The practitioners down there of alternative health, I was looking for some alternative way of dealing with my cancer.
James had prostate cancer. He's the only student here who did not rely on conventional treatment to treat cancer. He's been recovering very well through just practicing Qinway Qigong. As you can see from this graph provided by the hospital, the PSA blood test for prostate cancer has dropped down to the range normal for a man his age. His disease is clearly receding, and the Qinway Qigong has obviously played a critical role.
PSA has leveled off and in fact is reducing.
Qinway Qigong is a special technique of natural healing, making use of the abundant conditions that the universe has provided for the existence of life and the human being. The ancient human training culture has nourished a new splendid flower, distinguished by its sound and complete scientific foundations. Its simple and easy to follow movements, its rapid and powerful healing effects, and its simplified and modernized theory. All of this indicate a new direction for the future development of Qigong. One reason that students love Qinway Qigong is that it saves them time. Through just one energized fasting retreat, they are able to achieve an advanced training level. It is also economical since it saves the cost to go through regular beginning and intermediate Qigong classes. It also provides a series of long-term follow-up directions for continuing learning. Qinway Qigong has provided a basis for building a complete and systematic foundation for Qigong. It has contributed much to the health and well-being of many people. It will continue to benefit more and more people in the United States.
我们知道师父此生所受的苦难是非比寻常，这几天我们听到的呢，可能不及千万分之一。但是即使受过如此的挑战，师父仍然秉持他的慈悲心，不但关照、支持在座的每一位，包括我自己，同时还坚持要帮助万世的有情众生。感谢师父，谢谢师父，
谢谢师父，谢谢每一位 babies， 你们是成长的那么快，我表达我的歉意，因为这种限制上，我显得很凶，请各位原谅，请各位原谅。
闻众生，烦恼轻，智慧长，菩提增。